Now, the opposition is saying that we should look at capital projects, pause capital projects such as the airport, that this is not a priority right now. Madam President, so the people who are already unemployed, all these contractors and everybody else, notwithstanding that it may just be employing a few people, we believe that it is better than not creating that level of employment. Also, we cannot take the funds from the capital project and put into financing wages and salaries, Madam President. Also, opposition senator said we should go into promoting agriculture. Already the Minister of Agriculture is saying that we have an excess of produce on our hands, because what you have is the hotels are not there to receive the produce or to use it or utilize what the farmers are producing, and therefore the produce is really staying on our hands, and there is excess production right now. Madam President, when I saw us using the hotels as quarantine areas, that is what really got me thinking. And although I want to say thanks to the hoteliers today who has come to our aid and offered us their hotels such great facilities to quarantine our people, I must say that it also drawn to my attention that all the workers who were there, they were gone. And that means we have more people unemployed on the breadline. And that sort of brought home to me the importance of our tourism product. I know while the tourists were here, the hotels, everything was running, people used to say, oh, all these tourists, and everything is tourism, tourism. But COVID has really brought it home to us that tourism, we have to appreciate the tourism product. Because look at what is happening to us right now. And the day that we can bring back tourism to our country will be a very happy time, Madam President. Also the cruise ships, when I saw the last cruise ship pass and it couldn't stop, and we couldn't allow them to disembark, from the time we started turning the cruise ships away, that was a source of concern for us, Madam President. So this COVID, and like my fellow senator is saying, there's a lot of negativity connected to it, and of course it's causing a lot of people to suffer because it's a real, catastrophe. But it has caused a lot of us to think and think deeply and look at what it is that we now miss and show some more appreciation for the products and what it is that used to really drive our economy. Madam President, I will not say very much more because except to thank the banks and the businesses who have assisted us so far. They say a friend in need is a friend indeed, and we are seeing now who our real friends are at a time when we are in crisis. So as a government, we want to say thank you very much to all these agencies that have come to our aid in this time of crisis. We are waiting to see how the credit unions are going to come to our assistance and assist us with assisting the public workers to see how best we will be able to meet their needs without having to do what it is that we consider to be not appealing, but however necessary. So, Madam President, with these few words, I submit the bill to my senators who are here for approval. Thank you. The resolutions.
Madam Clerk.
Senators, the question is that A, Parliament authorizes the Minister for Finance
to borrow the sum of SDR $21,400,000 or US $29 million by way of a rapid credit facility loan from the International Monetary Fund for the purpose of capital and recurrent expenditure. B, the loan is repayable, 1, at a 0% rate of interest, inclusive of a 5.5-year grace period with a final maturity of 10 years, and 2, semi-annually through a standing authorization to the International Monetary Fund to debit St. Lucia's XDR account with the amount of all financial obligations to the International Monetary Fund for the Rapid Credit Facility loan as the financial obligations fall due. I now put the question. As many as are of that opinion, say aye. Aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Senators, I'd like to draw to your attention Standing Order 9-3 as we draw close to 6 p.m. Just let her read that, and then I'll bring it back for me to see that. Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Madam President, I move to suspend Standing Order 9-3 to allow this Honorable House to sit between the hours of 6 o'clock in the afternoon and 7:30 o'clock in the evening.
Honorable Senators, the question is that Standing Order 9-3 be suspended to allow this Honorable House to sit beyond 6 p.m. I now put the question. As many as are of that opinion, say aye.
Aye.
As many as are of a contrary opinion, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Permission is granted at 6 p.m. Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Madam President, I beg to move the first reading of a bill shortly entitled Citizenship by Investment Amendment.
Citizenship by Investment Amendment.
Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Madam President, I beg to move for the suspension of Standing Order number 49-2 to allow it to go through its remaining stages at this sitting.
Senators, the question is that Standing Order number 49-2 be suspended in order to allow the Honorable Minister to proceed with the remaining stages of the bill at this sitting. I now put the question. As many as are of that opinion, say aye. Aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Leave is granted. Proceed, Honorable Leader of Government Business.
The bill for consideration is the Citizenship by Investment Amendment Bill. Oops. Madam President, I beg to move the second reading of a bill entitled Citizenship by Investment Amendment. The bill for consideration is the Citizenship by Investment Amendment Bill, The purpose of the bill is to amend the Citizenship by Investment Act, Cap 120. Clause 1 and 2 of the bill provide for the short title and interpretation. Clause 3 of the bill provides for an amendment of Section 2 of the Act, interpretation, to reflect changes to the definition of qualifying dependent. Clause 4 of the bill provides for an amendment of Section 36 of the Act, approval, denial or delay of application, to provide that the current 5-year maximum time period on the categories of persons who may be eligible as a qualifying dependent be removed in respect of a child of the citizen born or a spouse of the citizen that was married after the application for citizenship by investment was granted. Section 36 of the Act is also amended to allow an applicant to apply for an extension of time to pay fees and the qualifying investment. An extension of time, however, should not exceed 90 days, except if unforeseen circumstances exist. Clause 5 of the bill provides for an amendment of Section 42J of the Act regulations to include waiver of fees among the matters in respect of which the minister, with approval of cabinet, may make regulations. Madam President, this bill is just improving on the quality of the Act, the Citizenship by Investment Act, and it is making ourselves more attractive, flexible compared to others in the region. As a product offering, it is more attractive than what we had before, and it is also more user-friendly. I submit this small amendment, Madam President, to the Senate, to my fellow senators for approval.
Senator Thomas Francis.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Madam President, in recent times, the trend wherein we have been amending certain provisions of the CIP Act has caused me some apprehension. Madam President, this time around, I think I am a little more nervous, and I will tell you why. It is said that desperate times call for desperate measures. And in this COVID environment and the associated impacts on our economy, suggests that we should take measures that are necessary to ensure that we weather the storm. The PM shared a quote recently, Madam President, during one of his national addresses, and he said, "Never let a good opportunity go to waste." So, in this thrust, we are seeking as a country to explore every opportunity to ensure that, like I said, we remain viable and we weather the storm in a manner where we can still be comfortable or reasonably comfortable in managing the affairs of the country. My expectation, Madam, however, is that we would explore all good opportunities that are presented by the crisis, and I stress on the word good, Madam President. And good in this context is what is advantageous to the citizens of this country, socially and economically, creating sustainable value for the citizenry. The key object is to generate much needed revenue for the country. However, this must not be at all cost. Madam President, in recent times, like I said, there have been to revise our act to ensure that we compete and compete on a regional level. But in so doing, Madam President, sorry to say that we seem to be making changes that is causing us to diminish the value of our citizenship. I view some of the proposed amendments in this bill, Madam President, as desecrating this important aspect of our citizenship. Madam President, let us look at the clauses that are being amended in the Act. Amendment of Section 2, 3, A to G. Qualifying dependents mean a spouse of the applicant, a child of the applicant or his or her spouse who is 21 years age or below, a child of an applicant or his or her spouse who is no more than 30 years of age and who is fully supported by the applicant, a child of the applicant or his or her spouse of any age who is physically or mentally challenged and who is fully supported by the applicant, a parent of the applicant of his or her spouse who is about 55 years old and who is fully supported by the applicant, a parent of any age who is mentally challenged and who is fully supported by the applicant, and finally an unmarried sister or brother of the applicant who is below 18 years of age and who has received the consent of his or her parent or guardian to make an application for the citizenship by investment. Madam President, this suggests that we are racing to the bottom. This suggests that we are prepared, like I said, to diminish the value of this important asset to the state. Madam President, forget the fee, but we are given citizenship to so many different categories of individual. And for my part, and I believe from discussion with other citizens, there's a concern that the amount that we are charging justify what we are given. Madam President, for $250,000 or $300,000 and reduced fee as well, we are offering citizenship to spouses' children, to mothers, to fathers, to children who are over 30 years old, to differently abled relatives. Madam President, it is a lot to give for a price of what we are discussing. Madam President, worse yet, under Section 36(4), it says, without limiting the generality of subsection 1, in the case of a qualifying investment of cash by a qualifying dependent, the board may grant an application for citizenship by investment to the qualifying dependent of the citizen if the board is satisfied by that the qualifying is A, child born or legally adopted after the application was made by the citizen, B, is the spouse of the citizen and was married after the application was made by the citizen, and C, was a qualifying dependent when the application was made by the citizen and the application for citizenship by investment of the qualifying dependent is made no more than 5 years after the application was made by the citizen. So, Madam President, an adopted child, a legally adopted child, after an application has been made, is qualified for citizenship. An applicant gets married after the application is filed, that spouse becomes qualified for citizenship. Madam President, in my view, this is just too generous. My understanding is we are competing with other members of the OECS. The OECS is one economic space. We are part of a currency union. We are part of a single space. When we compete with sister islands within that grouping, what are we doing? We get citizenship in St. Lucia, that's cheaper than Dominica. They become OECS citizenship, OECS citizens with the same rights and privileges that obtain in St. Lucia. The same argument with St. Kitts, with Antigua. So why are we as a country competing to race to the bottom to secure more citizenship and generate more revenue when, no matter how many we issue, they all become one citizen of the OECS? I don't get it, Madam President. Madam President, the other concern that I have, the citizenship by investment has created a two-tiered approach. On the one hand, we have our citizens, and I will give a scenario. St. Lucian born in the UK only has the right to transfer citizenship to his or her offsprings. The offsprings of their offsprings cannot get citizenship automatically. However, Madam President, under the acquired citizenship as prescribed or as provided by the CIP Act, foreigners can apply and get citizenship for so many individuals, spouses, children, stepchildren, parents who are over 55. Our people do not have that kind of privilege. So there is a lack of equity in the treatment of St. Lucian citizens and their offsprings and the acquired citizenship under the CIP Act. And to me, there has to be something wrong with that. There has to be something wrong with that. Madam President, the other concern that I have, and I've always had it, I know it has been a provision from the time the Citizenship by Investment program was introduced, is the issue of bonds. It has always been there, but under COVID, we have made it more, quote-unquote, attractive. More attractive from the perspective that we are saying if you invest X amount, you qualify to get citizenship for X number of family members, while at the same time you have terms of up to 5 years, 6 years, or 7 years. Madam, what happens at the end of the period? The bonds are redeemed, the applicant gets all the money back. That's how bonds work. I give you a bond, you give me $250,000 for my citizenship for a period of 5 years or 6 years. At the end of the period, the bonds are redeemed, I give you back your cash, and you have my citizenship. So what exactly is the benefit? Yes, we have use of the funds for a period of time, but as soon as we return those funds, who actually benefits the most? Who actually benefits the most? So it's almost as if citizenship is given for free. Go low, Madam President. I cannot believe and I cannot fathom that something as sacred as our citizenship will be given go low. Monsieur Sedam, citizen Setlisi, Moka Pale, Jodia Asu citizenship by investment. Jodia Moka Pale, et gouvernement vle nous bail permission pour baisser prix that foreigners ka paye pour passeport et pour citizenship. Ça m'a dit la citizenship son bagay qui bien important. Moi-même c'est un patriotique Saint-Lucien. Et puis bagay citizenship ça la m'a wè kon important. Ma wè ça son bagay dat nous ça point et puis just van by moun top de marché. Oui, moi, ça vient en situation côté qui pays a besoin d'argent. COVID-19 jamais été nous dans situation côté qui pays pour manager toutes les affaires nous. Mais ni des bagailles, moi considérer nous ça fait différent. Et ni des bagailles moi considérer qui risquable. Et moi quand ça risquable pour nous point citizenship nous. Et puis 20 by moun. Mais pas du temps nous avons vendre c'est comme si nous ka bay li pour rien. Parce que nous ka dit si un monde venir et puis faire application pour citizenship, il s'ajoigne pour 4 personnes, et puis alors 3 familles, et qui a payé $250,000 US, je try de accueillir, $250,000, merci, $250,000, et puis nous avons dit, il a prêté le pays à l'agence là pour s'éclamer. Et puis laisse s'éclamer ça la venir, Madame Président. Nous avons tout l'argent envié, et puis il y a citizenship, il y a passeport, nous avons citizenship, nous avons passeport, nous pour rien. Nous avons ça, c'est un bagage qui a fait cher, fait mal. Parce que citizenship, c'est un bagage qui n'est pas supposé baigolo. Il n'est pas supposé baigolo. Et Madame Président, je dit aussi, que nous avons mené pour y descendre, et puis mettre citizenship à la vie d'elle, by tout le monde qui veut venir cette ici. Mais nous avons fait ça pour nous compétir et puis à Tigre, pour nous compétir avec Dominique, pour nous compétir avec Saint Kitts. Mais, tout ces pays, ça là, c'est part of OECS community. Et puis, dès pour buy un passeport, et bien, un citizenship, by yon monde, et bien, by 4 monde pour venir au pays, cette ici, yon a tout rights là, qui a dit dans OECS. So, pour nous là, qu'à compete, et puis yon a l'autre. Pour nous passer assise, as an OECS gouvernement, et détermine, ni c'est sa citizenship nouveau, à l'argent, et que nous ne pour inviter les gens pour venir. So, à nous décider qui ça qui est bon pour nous faire, pour attract les gens pour venir à OECS là. So, moi pas comfortable, Madam, yes. I'm not comfortable with what is presented. Like I said, I think it's too generous. The other aspect of the amendment, Madam President, is under section 4B, where an applicant is approved under subsection 1A, the board shall notify the applicant of the approval within 30 days of the decision and shall require A, payment of any other fees within 60 days, and payment of qualifying investment within 90 days of the granting of the application. Nous avons crédit. Madame Président, nous avons crédit. Après, nous avons pour quantité bon marché. Après, nous avons presque pour rien. Nous avons juste bail crédit. Comment nous, en pays, cette liste, n'importe bagaille from gouvernement qui a joué un crédit? Nous pas joué un crédit. Toute licence ou apply pour, si vous prenez l'argent, ou pas, vous pas jouer une licence là. N'importe ça nous bouge, si nous prenons l'argent pour payer, là même nous pas trouver as citizens. Moi quand on paye, ça va mon yo ka mettre comme si foreigners là en haut nous en pays et qui pas supposé comme ça madame. Même si nous besoin l'argent pour nous pas faire bien. With due respect to all concerned, I think we need to find a different approach. And the act further states under 4A, on receipt of a request under subsection 4, the board may grant an extension of time not exceeding 90 days from the end of the period specified under subsection 4A or B if the board determines that it is reasonable to grant the extension. Madam President, après nous avons dit, nous avons 60 days, nous avons... Si vous trouvez ça pas assez, vous avez fait application by citizenship by investment pour avoir plus de temps. So, je ne comprends pas. Madame Président, je ne comprends pas. Je ne suis pas confortable. Ça a fait chairman fait mal parce que, comme je dis, moi, mes pays, pour moi, citizenship pays, c'est un bagage qui est très important. Ce n'est pas un bagage qui nous fait blague avec. Nous ne pour fantasien ça nous fait parce que nous ne pouvons pas dire dans le pays, nous, j'en sais que les senti quoi, moins important. Parce que ces foreigners là, nous avons évité pour les citizenship dans le pays. Nous. Ça, c'est un bagage qui a créé des arguments, bagage qui a fait mon senti quoi mal. Et puis, nous voulons, pour nous continuer, pour nous loguer. We want to continue to be proud citizens. We want to continue to appreciate our citizenship and our country. and nous pas supposé qu'à continuer by citizenship golo. Et Madame Présidente, je dis franchement, manière, c'est provision ça là qui a changé. Massa supporté parce que je suis pas confortable. Et puis, je pense à qui ça, Madame Leader of Government Business, ça dit moi après-midi pour faire moi confortable, mais je ne suis pas confortable, pièce. Nous supposons ça fait meilleur passer ça. I am not comfortable with what is presented here, and I think my arguments are cogent, and I believe there are other ways that we can raise funds, or other ways we can treat with this sacred asset of our country, that of our citizenship. And I do hope that good sense will prevail such that we can review what we are proposing to ensure that we attach greater importance to our citizenship. Madam President, I thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to the rebuttal of the Leader of Government Business. I thank you.
Senators, I remind you that Creole can be used, but it's supposed to give an explanation. It's not really meant to be used, and that's what the rules say, for the majority or of your debate. Now, I'm only saying this also to point out that for the record, it is not placed in Hansard. So some of what you say, and I draw that to your attention because you only used Creole for the last, to explain the last section that you had a problem with. You did not use English for that part and then Creole. So you will not have a record of your concern on the last section. You will have on the first two where you did both translations. So I just want to draw that to your attention. I am not objecting to the use of Creole at all, and I want to make that clear. But if you want it in the record, you'll have to use both.
Thanks for the guidance, Madam President. Duly noted.
Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Madam President. I note the concerns of our independent senator, and I want to point out that already, once a person becomes a CIP recipient in any OECS country, the person is automatically a citizen also of St. Lucia. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to make our product more attractive without reducing on the price of the product. So we are improving on the quality of the product in terms of when we sell it out there, the family, the person, the CIP applicant can bring on board more persons than in some of the other OECS countries, because some of the other OECS countries, theirs is even more attractive than that. So ours is still a little bit more costly than theirs. But then when you look there, you see the spouse of the applicant. I mean, normally, this is a given, right? The child of the applicant, and the difference now is the 21 years of age or below, right? The free C, the child of the applicant again, and the person is fully supported by the applicant. D, same thing, and all these persons are already fully supported by the applicant. So it is not like we are bringing in total strangers. These are people that are already attached and being taken care of by the person who is applying to become a citizen. And in most countries, once you can show proof that you are supporting this person, then the person automatically is able to accompany you and give and get whatever benefit that the applicant is entitled to. So it is not very different from most other countries. The last one, G, an unmarried sister or brother of the applicant who is below 18 years old. So all of this is what normally obtains, in any case, when a person applies, say, for citizenship from the United States or Canada, and all these countries also have CIP programs. And then you spoke about the refund at the end of the time, which is something that is not being amended here, that is not being spoken to in this amendment. Not that I can see. I do not see that we are changing the fact that the person gets the refund at the end of the 5 years or at the end of the term. I do not see any amendment to that.
Senator Francis.
Excuse me, Madam President, on the point of clarification, I'm not sure that I have a different bill, but on page 7, under page 7, if I may refer Madam Leader of Government Business to page 7, 4B, section headed 4B, on page 7. I hope I don't have the wrong one.
What is the issue with 4B?
Well, she said Madam, the Leader of Government Business stated that she cannot see on her document where I made reference to these particular matters, the matters of the fees and deferment of the payment of fees. Is that what you're referring to, Madam?
The refund. It doesn't speak to the refund.
This one was taken out.
Yeah, that's the right one. She's talking about the refund, but this doesn't speak to the refund. It's not amending the refund.
Leader of Government Business.
Excuse me, Madam, if I may, I did not speak to refund. I spoke to the credit. I said we give the application on credit because they get 3 months and 90 days to pay, and if they require an extension to pay, that is allowed with discretion from the CIP leadership. But in terms of the refund, I'm speaking about the offering, the bond offering, which is on Facebook, which has been presented not as part of this, but I'm speaking generally concerning the CIP offering, where the bond is being offered, and of course how a bond works, as I explained earlier, is that you pay, you get citizenship, and you have terms up to 5 years or 6 years or 7 years within which to redeem the bonds. Redeeming bonds means you get refunded what you pay for it. So in actual fact, you get refunded and you still have the citizenship. So that's what I was describing. Thank you, Madam, for your...
Yes, if I may, Madam
Leader
President.
of Government Business.
This is what I'm saying. This amendment is not doing anything to the bond itself, or to the refund, or to your at the end of the term when you get your payment back from the bond, when you redeem the bond. It is not amending that. That remains the way it is in the Principal Act. So we are not dealing with the bond itself, but I can make a note and see, what it is that can be done and compare it to the other countries in the OECS, how they do theirs, so that we can have a discussion on that and, take a look at that. But I also want to say that we have to be mindful that after about 5 years, after a person spends 5 to 7 years here, usually they're entitled to citizenship anyway. You understand? So in terms of the bond, it's like giving the person their money back because they are now a citizen, So we can take a look at that and make a note, yeah. Thank you, Madam President.
Senators, the question is that the Citizenship by Investment Amendment Bill be read a second time. I now put the question. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it.
An act to amend the Citizenship by Investment Act, Cap 1.20.
We'll take it clause by clause. Clause 2 stands part of the bill.
No. Clause 2. Have to read the title.
Clause 2.
Interpretation.
Clause 2 stands part of the bill. Clause 3.
Amendment of Section 2.
Clause 3 stands part of the bill. Clause 4.
Amendment of Section 36.
Clause 4 stands part of the bill. Clause 5.
Amendment of Section 40.
Clause 5 stands part of the bill. Clause 1.
Short title.
Clause 1 stands part of the bill. Clause 1 stands part of the bill. Senators, the question is that the committee rise and the bill be reported. I now put the question. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Senators, I beg to report that the Citizenship by Investment Amendment Bill went through committee stage without amendment. Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Madam President, I move that the report of the committee be adopted and the bill be read a third time and passed.
Senators, the question is that the report of the committee be adopted and that the Citizenship by Investment and a third time and passed. I now put the question. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it.
Be it enacted by the Queen's Most Excellent Majesty, and with the advice and consent of the House of Assembly and the Senate of St. Lucia, and by the authority of the same as follows. This act may be cited as the Citizenship by Investment Amendment Act 2020.
Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Madam President, I move that the Senate stand adjourned, signed and die. Stand adjourned until Thursday, June 4th, 2020. Sorry.
Senators, the question is that this Senate do stand adjourned until Thursday, June 4th, 2020. I now put the question. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Sitting adjourned.
Thank you so much for staying with the broadcast. We come to the end of the sitting of Senate, where we saw the Leader of Government Business, Senator Honorable Mary Isaac, who presented a number of motions, including the resolve that Parliament would extend for an additional period commencing from the first day of June 2020 and ending on the 30th of September 2020, in accordance with Section 17(6) of the Constitution of St. Lucia, Cap 1.01, the Constitution of St. Lucia extension of resolution of Parliament approving declaration of state of emergency, passed as statutory instrument number 60 of 2020.
Senators, I forgot to tell you that Senator Auger and Senator Henry asked to be excused for personal reasons.
And ending on the 3rd day of May. The Leader of Government Business listed a number of reasons for the extension, including to keep the Cuban doctors and nurses on board and practicing in St. Lucia, especially given the COVID-19 pandemic. We also saw another motion being presented. Be it resolved that Parliament authorizes the Minister for Finance to borrow by means of advances, sums not exceeding $85 million from commercial banks for a period of 6 months from the date hereof, which sums shall be charged on and paid out of the consolidated fund. The final motion, Parliament authorizes the Minister for Finance to borrow the sum of $29 million by way of a rapid credit facility loan from the International Monetary Fund for the purpose of capital and recurrent expenditure. The loan is repayable at a 0% interest rate inclusive of a 5-year period with a final maturity of 10 years and semi-annually through a standing authorization to the International Monetary Fund to debit St. Lucia's XDR account with the amount of all financial obligations to the International Monetary Fund for the rapid credit facility loan as the financial obligations fall due. We also saw the Citizenship by Investment Amendment Bill being passed in the Senate today. Once again, thank you so much for staying with the broadcast. Do join us next time on the 2nd of June for the sitting of Parliament. I am Janelle Norville, and good night.